If I had to start over from scratch, what would I do in the first 2 weeks to build an audience and build a business? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. In fact, what I would do and what I often advise is to create a validation offer. Now there's 4 in my book, Validate Your Offer, but in this video, I'm going to tell you my favorite one, and that is a lazy workshop. Now, this lazy workshop launch can be done with no audience, no list. All you need is a little bit of social media and you can start this from scratch. I'm gonna be walking you through that in this video. So the first thing I would do with this lazy launch is I would find a topic that people care about. Now, this would be related to whatever niche you wanted to go into, and you would simply find that hook, that specific topic that they might want to learn about. So for example, for a couple of years as another one of my businesses, I have sold sports cards and books on eBay. And so I would use one of those as a hook. I would simply put out there on social media, hey, anyone here interested if I were to put together a workshop on Zoom on how I'm selling books or sports cards on eBay? And then just get people to comment, right? And all those people that are comment, ooh, that's cool, that would be awesome, that's interesting. I'm gathering up a potential audience for this kind of grassroots offer that I am creating. So that's the first thing. Then you want to set a date to host your virtual workshop. And we'll walk through the steps I like to take in just a little bit. But you're going to set that date. Typically, I like to pick Saturdays. I would take that about 2 weeks out. So I would start on a Monday and say, thinking about, and post that post on social media. And then the next Saturday, 2 weeks away, is when I would actually do it. So you're going to set the date to host that workshop. Number 3, you're going to create anticipation for what to expect. Get people excited about the workshop. You're going to primarily use social media. If you have an email list, perfect. You can use an email list to create that as well. Number 4, we're going to create the urgency with the deadline. Now, since this is a live workshop that you're going to do on Zoom, it is perfect for having urgency because there's an actual deadline involved. And so these are the big overview 4 steps. And I go a lot more in depth inside of this, and we're going to jump into more of this. This is a 9-page workbook. In fact, if you'd like a copy of this 9-page kind of playbook, workbook, then you can check it out in the description below or in the first comment below and just grab it for free. So this is what a typical promotion schedule would look like. Again, I would start by putting it out there on social media. And this is where I would start it. I would start it right here on a Monday. I would come back on a Wednesday, promote it again, Friday. And the whole time we are just building up some anticipation. I'll give you some examples in a second. And then that next week is when I'm actually opening up the cart so that people can purchase what I'm going to do. Now, another reason why I love this is because you don't need a whole lot of technical experience. All you need is a way to get paid and a tool to run your virtual workshop. If you've ever used Zoom, then that's all you need. You just use Zoom, have a way to get paid. You can use any method out there. I typically like to charge anywhere from $15 up to $95 for these workshops. I'm somewhere around $25 often. And so think about it. If you can get 100 people who are interested to pay $25 for a 2 or 3 hour workshop on a Saturday, that's $2,500 that you put in your pocket from scratch. No sales page, you didn't have to go build out a course. It's all very organic. You sell it before, or actually, yeah, you sell it before you create it. What a novel offer. Now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to dive into this. But before I do, are you enjoying this? Is this the type of content you would like for me to produce here on YouTube? Let me know. And you can also hit the like button, subscribe, and even hit the bell notification so that you know the next time a video hits. All right, let's get back into it and let's actually get right into the details. So this is what I would do. The first week I would build anticipation. And so I would float the idea again with a simple social media post. thinking about hosting a workshop about X. Interested? That's it. Very simple, but super effective. Then I would let comments happen, likes happen, and then I would maybe do some type of survey. Now, if you have people on an email list, you could send them an email and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. If I were to do it, what topic should I cover? Or what's your biggest challenges or frustrations around this topic? And get a bunch of info that can be really helpful for you when you build out the virtual workshop. And then you come back on a Friday and say, guess what? I'm doing it. You can announce it, put it out there, say, hey, next week, I am going to be sharing a way that you can register for this workshop. So that's the anticipation. So then you have the enrollment period that next week. So Monday would be, hey, card is open. One thing that I love to do, a little pro tip here, is go to those people who commented from that original post right here that you did on social media. And in every single comment, you can either share the link for them to register or send them a private message and say, hey, I saw that you were interested. I'm doing it. Here's the link. I have always picked up more registrations by not just relying on my email list, but by actually going to the people who said they were interested and said, hey, if you want to join us, here's the link to register. All right, so we got the cart is open. Then I would send an FAQ social post or an email. Hey, there's a lot of buzz around this topic, but you might be having some questions. When is it? What time is it? Will I get a replay? Answering all those questions will help your methodical buyers get the answers they need in order to purchase. All right, then a couple days later, you can do a 1 day left reminder, letting them know that the deadline is coming. We're going to be doing this workshop on Saturday. I may never do this workshop again. Now's the time to register. And then a last day email or social media post, and then you host the workshop. So that walks through the details there. So we can see a big picture overview here. We've got the step-by-step launch method here. Now, this is helpful inside of this PDF. Again, you can get this whole PDF below because most people say, Jonathan, I don't have an audience. I want to challenge that because if you go through this potential audience audit, you will be surprised at how many connections you do have to draw out an audience that might be interested in this topic. So you can go through that list there. There's some other exercises in here and a to-do list and some of the resources that I like to use for my paid workshop. I love this strategy. This strategy works really well for me. In fact, I use this almost once a quarter. So 4 times a year, I will do this lazy workshop. Again, there's lots of benefits. By the way, here's a big benefit that maybe you're concerned about. Jonathan, what if I put a topic out there and it's not that interesting? I didn't choose the right thing. I didn't get anybody to register for the webinar. Then guess what? That saved you. By the way, register for the workshop. It's not a webinar because this is a paid workshop. You're teaching in it. You're not necessarily selling anything inside of this workshop. But if no one buys it, guess what that tells you? Then the topic wasn't that interesting enough. You need to find a better hook. So you can come back a month later and try again. Say, hey, I'm thinking about doing a workshop on this. And the people out there don't know that you didn't host that other workshop or that it didn't really work as planned. And so it gives you an opportunity to experiment. It gives you an opportunity to validate that you've got an audience interested in the niche you're thinking of going into. And it helps you to be very organic. You don't waste a lot of time, money, or resources. So there you go. What do you think of that? Let me know in the comments below if you want me to create videos going even more in depth on this strategy, because this is the strategy I would do in the first 2 weeks to test out a new market and to start something completely from scratch. By the way, if you want to know what I like to do or what my favorite ways to build an email list from scratch, I created a video called My 7 Favorite Ways to Build an Email List Fast, and you can check it out right up here. We'll catch you over on that video.